What's going on, everybody? This is the TheGameHuntah channel with another episode of Clash Royale. Let's continue searching for the best deck between Arena 5 and 7. And you know what? I think I got one. This one, it's been working quite okay for me. I come out with this combination the other day. It's a control deck. I'm going to explain every card in detail in a few seconds. But as you can see, the average elixir cost is 3.4, is not too bad. We have cards that can actually counter many of the big decks or more popular decks in the arenas right now. So let's get into this. The Bomb Tower. This card, it's a killer. It's a killer. To be quite honest, it's probably my favorite tower right now. I'm not really a big fan of using defensive buildings, but the Bomb Tower is really effective, especially against spammer decks, because of the splash damage. You can do some nasty damage. It costs 5 elixir, which is quite high. It's probably the same cost as the Inferno Tower. But the good thing about the Bomb Tower is that it's going to target more than one unit at the same time because of the splash damage, the area damage. So I strongly recommend you to give it a shot. I've been using this one lately in this deck, and it's been working like a charm. The Ice Wizard. To be quite honest, fellas, I used to hate this guy. Wasn't a big fan of the Ice Wizard. I was really trying to get more princesses, and all of a sudden I got an Ice Wizard in the middle, and I wasn't very happy. But you know what? That completely changed. I believe the Ice Wizard is one of the most powerful cards in the game. Yeah, in the latest patch, if I'm not wrong, he suffered a 5% extra boost in damage, which is actually making a big difference in this card. The idea of using the Ice Wizard is to control. That's what I call this deck, control deck, because the Ice Wizard is going to allow me to freeze my opponents and also freeze towers. It's especially useful in defense and also in offense, in combination with the Musketeer and the Hog Rider. The Musketeer, she still rocks with a 20% boost in damage thanks to the last patch. The Musketeer is still one of my favorite cards in the game. It's immune to the classic arrows that make the Musketeer quite useful card. It's really powerful in defense, really powerful in offense. Actually, if you don't pay attention and somebody put a Musketeer in front of your arena towers, you can actually say goodbye to at least 400 to 500 hit points. It's that powerful. The arrows. Yes, I used to use the Fireball a lot, but now switching to the arrows. There is a couple of reasons for that. Number one, once they reach Arena 6 and 7, there is a lot of players using the Minion Horde, which is quite annoying, quite powerful. And if you don't put a stop in those dudes, they can bring down your towers in 2 seconds. So arrows is a really cheap option to get rid of the minions. Also, you can get rid of the princess, you can get rid of a bunch of goblins, making of the arrows one of the most useful cards against spammer decks. And it only costs 3 elixirs. Oh, the Mighty Goblins, so useful. Only 2 elixir. You cannot go wrong with this card. I mean, you can use the skeletons too, but I like the Goblins because of the extra pushing damage that they do. In combination with the Hog Rider, it's really painful, it's really scary, and also the Goblins can help you big time defense, right? When somebody starts attacking you with a Hog Rider or a Prince or something like that, you can distract units with the Goblins, making of this card one of the most used cards in any of my decks. Hog Rider! Yes, Hog Rider is back, and especially is quite useful in this deck because of the combination Musketeer, Hog Rider, Ice Wizard, and also Goblins with the Hog Rider. It's working really well. Another reason I'm using the Hog Rider a lot is because when I play against defensive players, sometimes you need something that can jump the river extremely fast and take care of mortars or expos. Hog Rider is the punch card in this deck, so you need to be ultra careful and learn how to use it correctly. Britney Spears in the house. Yes, I cannot say enough about Britney Spears. This card is still my favorite. Only 2 elixir, fast release, decent damage. You cannot go wrong with Britney Spears. And poison. Because of the area of effect. Because it's so useful against spammer decks. That's the reason that I decided to add poison to my deck right now. It's also useful against defensive players, right? If they start putting so many defensive buildings together, like a Mortal with Tesla Tower, Inferno Tower, you can put poison in the area and take care of more than one defensive building at once. And that's the reason that this control deck is working quite okay for me. They can complement really well, and some cards can be used in defense and in offense without any problems. I'm talking about the Ice Wizard, I'm talking about the Musketeer. The only offensive card that I have in the deck is the Hawk Rider, right? Besides that, I can just control the phase of the match and then determine when is the right time for me to attack. And of course, I can use poison to also control the hit points of my opponent towers. Alright fellas, you guys are ready to see this control deck in action? Let's go to the battlefield. Let's go to the Royal Arena. In this battle we're gonna I think it's some spammer deck, so let's see what happens. Yeah, definitely a spammer deck. Barbarian Hut, Tombstone, Goblin Hut. Okay, definitely a spammer deck. We're gonna start with Hawk Rider, with the Goblins, with the Bomb Tower, and also Poison. Here comes the first Goblin Hut. We're gonna start real quick with a quick rush with Goblins and Hawk Rider. Let's see what my opponent has. I can see that my opponent is putting every single card on the battlefield, and that is actually working in my advantage. He decided to use Poison, deploy the Witch, also the Skeleton, the Tombstone, the Britney Spears, everything is on everything is on the battlefield. So I'm already have an idea the kind of play that I'm facing right now. And so far we were able to survive without any issues because of the Bomb Tower. So how filthy it is. Yes, the Hawk Rider got completely distracted with the Bomb Tower. It has some decent hit points, and the rest of the troops went down without an issue because of the splash damage. Alright, let's go. Let's start pushing now from the right side with Musketeer and Ice Wizard. This is one of the most deadliest combos that I've been seeing in the game lately. It's so effective. Let's use Poison now to try to control the hit points of that tower and also take care of some of the hit points of the Goblin Hut. Let's deploy some Goblins. You see, Goblins are so effective. Even if it's only 3, they can do some nasty damage. 454 hit points left. The game is under control at this point. And look at the Bomb Tower taking care of business. We're gonna use Arrow in a few seconds to control those minions. Perfect. All right, that's what you need to have those arrows. I'll strongly recommend you to always keep your arrows handy, and also, especially if you know if your opponent has minions, I would strongly recommend you to keep the arrows always in your hand. Always in your hand. Don't use the arrows for anything else because only minions can cost you the game. Alright, let's start pushing a little bit with Goblins, Britney Spears, Ice Wizard, Poison one more time to control my opponent. Look at all those units are going down, and also I'm controlling the match because the hit points of that tower are going down big time. Which Musketeer, Britney Spears coming over here. One more time, minions, no problema. We got the arrows controlling the map one more time without any issue. The move one more time. I say one more time like 1,000 times, but it's true. Ice Wizard, Britney Spears moving from the right side without any problemas. Here comes another Bomber Tower. The only reason I put the other Bomber Tower is because I know that tower in the top right corner is gonna go down regardless. Whatever I do is gonna go down. I have Poison decks, okay? I got arrows. With arrows I can bring down that tower. So for now I need to be ready for the final push. Why? Because you guys probably know by now that the last minute against a spammer decks is probably the worst. You're gonna see troops coming from everywhere, and if you're not prepared, you can say goodbye to your towers. Victory is ours with the control decks. Let's go to the next one. Royal Arena, one more time. Let's go. This is an X-Bow player, so let's see how this deck is working against a defensive player. Alright, we're going with arrows, Bomb Tower, Hawk Rider, and also Goblins. We're gonna start deploying Goblins in different directions. I'm gonna start pushing from the left side right away. X-Bow in front of me with a Hawk Rider. Of course, I'll take care of business, man. That is no problem. X-Bow is quite an annoying card. Still, even when the range got reducing 1, it still is a really annoying card. One more time, the Bomb Tower. Again, guys, I strongly recommend you use the Bomb Tower on defense because it's quite effective against many different opponents. Of course, you don't have anti-air, but that's why you have arrows, that's why you have the Ice Wizard, that's why you have the Musketeer. Let's go with the combo, Musketeer and Ice Wizard. Let's see if we can do something against the Tesla Tower. Tesla Tower extremely powerful. That could be trouble, but that's why we had the Hawk Rider to take care of business of those towers that are actually deployed in the middle of the map. Bomb Tower taking care of every single barbarian. And in combination with Britney Spears, there's no chance that those barbarians are gonna reach my tower. Ice Wizard, yeah, that could be trouble, but that's why I have some goblins to put a stop right away in that Ice Wizard. Regular Wizard. Okay, now we're in trouble. Now we are in trouble. Bomb Tower's gonna go rather. Oof, my friend. Big mistake. Yes, you cannot. You always need to be ready to fade the Expo, but that is one of the advantages of the Bomb Tower. The Bomb Tower has some decent hit points, so you can put the Bomb Tower right there, and the Expo is gonna target it without any problems. I don't mind if I lose that, but I didn't lose any hit points of any of my arena towers. That is something that is gonna make a big difference at the end of the match. 1 minute rush. Here we go. The combos in my hand. Goblins and Hog Rider. I was waiting and waiting just really patiently until the Tesla Tower goes down, and now is the time for me to deploy the combo. Let's go with Hog Rider, Goblins, Poison. Look at Poison taking care of all those minions and doing some nasty damage against those Barbarian. And now in the meantime, I got the Ice Wizard, Musketeer, Britney Spear pushing from the left side. Yes, Fireball in here, no problem. The Ice Wizard is still attacking. Oh, okay, that's it. Okay, that's it. 30 seconds to go. Bomb Tower one more time in a good defensive spot. I know we have a Tesla Tower, and also we got an Expo in front of us. This is not gonna be easy. This is definitely gonna be one of those battles that can cost us, I don't know, trophies because of little mistakes. But we are already prepared. We got the arrows ready in case of the minion, and the final push between the Goblins and the Hog Rider was just too much for my opponent to handle. Victory Sour one more time, controlling the match. Look at the hit points on my towers. My towers, they have pretty much all the hit points. I think I lost like 100 hit points in the bottom left tower, and that's all. Controlling the match, fellas. Controlling the match. Royal Arena. Here we go. Battle number 3. Let's see what we're gonna do. We got a Poison, Hog Rider, Ice Wizard, Musketeer. My opponent, oh, it's coming right away with Hog Rider, and that's why the Wizard is so useful. Look at the Ice Wizard slowing down the Hog Rider. Musketeer is taking care of the rest, and now it's time for us to counter with Hog Rider, with Musketeer, with Ice Wizard. Britney Spears is joining the party. We're not gonna have any troubles doing damage to that tower. Inferno Tower, okay, that could be trouble, fellas. Inferno Tower is probably the worst enemy of the Hog Rider, and man, most of the tanks cards, right? The P.E.K.K.A. goes down extremely fast, the Giant goes down extremely fast, the Golden goes down extremely fast against the Inferno Tower, so you need to be prepared for that. Right now, we're still in control of the match. We have an advantage of 500 hit points. That's probably good. We got a Prince coming. All right, let's deploy some Goblins in there to avoid the direct hit of the Prince against the tower. You see, we just sacrificed one Goblin and we were able to stop that attack without any problemas. Hog Rider, Musketeer, let's keep pushing. Yep, look at this. We are taking care of that tower without problems. Musketeer, how deadly she is. How deadly she is! She was able to take care of that tower after the Hog Rider went down, and now the game is in control, and that's why it's called Control Deck, because at this point we can just sit down, lay back, and wait for our opponent. We have a really interesting defensive deck. Bomb Tower right there, taking care of the Hog Rider. We got some Goblins to give some extra support, and again, we're still in control of the match, and that is what my opponent right now is thinking. Only have Prince, only has some minions, some skeletons and arrows. That's probably not gonna be enough to break my defense unless he determines, oh, okay, that Prince was able to pass my defense bus. But that's the reason I have my Ice Wizard and also Musketeer deployed in that area, because I can easily stop the Prince and any unit that is trying to attack me, right? With the Ice Wizard, I freeze my opponent. With the Musketeer, I take care of business. Right now, I'm gonna try to push just a little bit, just to make sure that my opponent doesn't feel extremely comfortable, because I don't want to have all the enemy units in my side of the map at the same time. Here comes the Prince with some skeletons. What are we gonna do? Britney Spears, Bomb Tower, second Bomb Tower. Let's defend this base like the Alamo. Let's do it like the Alamo. Ooh, okay. You could have used those arrows against my arena tower, but okay, I'll appreciate that. Here comes Hawk Rider one more time, but one more time I have the bomb tower in a perfect location, so the Hawk Rider is gonna get distracted. Putting poison in this area is gonna allow me to stop also those minions, and we were victorious. One more time, control deck taking care of business. Fellas, this is the Game Hunter. If you guys enjoyed this series, please post in the commentary section. Also, give it a like to the video. I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.